Welcome to the Asian Idols channel. I'm Cherry. Today, our video features the following exciting content.
Actors enter the bioelectric testing era, capital shifts from real track records to mystic metrics, with Bai Jingting as a key signal. If we extend the timeline further back, it becomes clear that this so-called biological electricity revolution did not emerge overnight. Rather, it resembles a long-suppressed emotional rebound. Audiences have grown tired of standardized emotional supply. Platforms are weary of high-cost, low-certainty content gambles, and capital is searching for a sharp new metric to redivide actor value. Against this backdrop, vague terms such as magnetic field, spark, and eye contact chemistry, once confined to fandom discourse, have been rapidly upgraded into quasi-industrial parameters repeatedly invoked by platforms and producers. The problem is that these parameters, while seemingly cutting-edge, are deeply dependent on short-term feedback. Explosive fan edits, viral topics, and spontaneous CP shipping essentially measure emotional mobilization efficiency, but they do not necessarily translate into long-term content vitality. Capital is willing to bet on this model precisely because it is fast, cheap, and stimulating. Rather than spending years cultivating a ratings-carrying actor, it is far more efficient to test the waters with a single stage appearance or pilot interaction, quickly filtering for combinations capable of triggering collective emotional resonance. Algorithms amplify the signals, audiences validate them through engagement, and risk is redistributed to the market itself. This logic, however, is quietly reshaping actors' survival strategies. When stable output is no longer remote and uncontrollable, fleeting charisma is infinitely amplified, actors are forced into a harsher competition. It is no longer enough to perform well, they must electrify. This means more improvisation, greater exposure, and more frequent emotional collisions, while professional risk becomes structurally less predictable. One successful stage moment can instantly alter the resource landscape. One failed attempt may just as quickly be classified by algorithms as an invalid sample. For Bai Jingting, the discussion is not about failure, but about being categorized as an honor student of the old paradigm. His career path is clear, his resume complete, and his risk profile controllable, qualities that now run counter to capital's pursuit of uncertainty. In other words, he is not unqualified, he is simply no longer scarce. By contrast, figures like Zhang and Zhang Ruonan represent variables that have yet to be fully defined and still carry narrative potential. Capital has always favored variables, because variables mean there are still stories to tell. What warrants caution is that once biological electricity is elevated to a new creed, the industry may be inflating another bubble. Magnetic chemistry cannot be quantified, replicated, or reliably reproduced. When audience novelty inevitably fades, whether this form of mysticism can continue to convert into real commercial value remains an open question. Platforms and investors often have far shorter patience than public discourse assumes. What is certain is that the actor evaluation system has already shifted. Effort no longer automatically converts into returns, and proven track records are no longer the sole passport. The industry is entering a phase that is more emotionalized, more algorithm-driven, and more ruthless. For Bai Jingting, this represents a passive moment of being overtaken by the times. For newcomers, it may simply be a new entrance exam, one with significantly higher risk. As for whether this biological electricity casting method will ultimately drive industry evolution or merely exhaust audience trust, only time can provide the answer. But one thing is clear, when capital begins pricing actors through mysticism, what truly needs to be reassessed may not only be the actors themselves, but the patience and bottom line of the entire content industry.
If this is your first time watching our channel, please hit the subscribe button to support us. Thank you.